Hello and welcome to the Snap XMP webinar. Thanks very much for joining me. My name is Louise Parsons and today I'm going to lead you through some of the key features of Snap XMP, which is our new experience measurement platform. And I'm going to show you how Snap XMP can hopefully make some of your research life a little bit easier. In this webinar, I'm going to show you the key capabilities of the new experience measurement platform that synchronizes your desktop design surveys, forms and reports to your new Snap Online account seamlessly. In the next 20 to 25 minutes, hopefully, got to try and keep to time, we are going to have a look at the new XMP platform in desktop mode and the online account. I'll show you some auto synchronization. We'll use the included templates for a fully optimized survey. We'll have a look at the editable URL and QR codes. And I'll also show you how you can share and collaborate for more streamlined team working. And hopefully I'll also show you a little bit of participants online as well to show that you can do that through your online account also. So finally, after all of that, we are going to have a look at the XMP Support Hub, just to show you where the home of our interactive tutorials, guides and worksheets are. So let's get started. Hopefully everything will go as planned. So we are Snap Surveys, and as I said earlier, we're going to talk about our new experience measurement platform. One of the things I like to touch on very quickly is just to let you know, because we're very proud that we are ISO 27001 certified. Our data is encrypted throughout the survey process, so that's delivery, collection and storage, and we are fully GDPR compliant. So how does Snap work? This is a nice visual of the Snap XMP platform. So Snap has a desktop app that you can see here. And that's for the creation of your surveys. And these can be simple forms or complex and engaging surveys with advanced logic and engaging question types. The desktop also has a brilliant analysis suite in it, and this includes ready-made reporting. Do-it-yourself analysis is in there. You can create reports from scratch. You can also do more complex dynamic reporting, which is called smart reporting, all within the desktop app. The desktop integrates seamlessly with your online account, which is what you'll use for hosting and deploying both anonymous and invitational surveys. The desktop and the online account also offer great collaborative working, which we'll go into in a little more detail. The Snap desktop and online accounts are what we're going to look at today, but I always feel it's worth mentioning that Snap also offers offline interviewing, so you don't need to worry about not having connectivity if you're out in the field. You can reliably conduct your face-to-face and kiosk interviewings 24/7. But that will probably be another exciting webinar, fingers crossed. We may still need to offer paper, you may still need to offer paper surveys to perhaps harder to reach groups. And the Snap scanning module lets you create paper surveys, including booklets. You can pre-seed information. Snap can handle the cover letter as well for postal surveys. Once you scan them back in, you're then ready to analyse your survey. Snap is one tool. It creates fully mobile optimized online surveys, and you also get a downloadable paper version as standard with every survey you create as well. The built-in templates help provide you with an easy starting point, but you can create your own fully branded templates to have consistent standardized surveys across the organization. Snap also has a multi-language option, so you can create multi-language surveys which can be accessible from one link, and all of those responses go back into your single data set as well. Instant reporting, I have to say I do love instant reporting, and that's included for every survey that you create. So each survey has a pre-designed summary report to accompany it, and this can be edited to include or exclude information. There is also more advanced reporting, so you can design your own reports from scratch. You can use the great analysis tools available within the platform. If you require more detail or more complex reporting, you can create your own bespoke smart reports. And these can include benchmarking data and contextually splitting it by, for example, site or business area. The collaborative capability of XMP allows you to share templates, surveys, and folders with colleagues and other Snap users, while also allowing you to share results and reporting with clients should you require, because you can control the level of access that they have. There's also an activity history, so that's all recorded and logged so that all the researchers are able to see if you're sharing a survey with another researcher, when changes were made, and by whom. So I do like to let people know that there are endless possibilities with Snap. Perhaps not quite endless, but Snap's more than just surveys. You can create online forms, audits, quizzes and tests as well, and contactless forms, which have obviously become more and more important in recent times. You can create timesheets. It can be used as application or registration forms. So I'm always about getting value for money. So think of Snap not just as surveys, but also as these other online potential as well. Before we go into the software, I also like to let people know that we do give you support when you need it. We have a great training team who provide scheduled courses, tailored courses, and also consultancy services. Our research service experts are happy you can outsource any or all aspects of a survey to them, and they have a wealth of experience and knowledge to help create your projects with you or for you. Our help desk team are always accessible by phone or email. You can have a chat with them and get any help you need to get you back on track. And finally, our online support hub and resources, which I will show you at the end of this webinar. And this is your go-to place for your interactive tutorials, user guides, worksheets, and so forth. So let's get started and have a look at the software. So I've just opened up my desktop Snap XMP. And as you can see, you're faced with our nice online mode, which will communicate directly with your online account. This is done through logging into your online account through here, and then it will communicate directly with it. All of the online accounts are set up via an email address, and that's how they're identified. In here, you can see that we have my work, it's my general folder, and you can have other subfolders here if you would like. So I think the good place to start is, because I'm going to show you auto synchronization, let's just make a very quick 2-question survey. And I do this by clicking the plus button for a new survey, and I'm immediately faced with my templates. So these blank templates are there for everybody. Your language version will depend on which country you're in. So when you select one of these blank templates, it will automatically create the framework for your survey, which is automatically mobile optimized. And this means that whether someone is filling it in on a PC, a laptop, a tablet, phone, it will be correct for them. And so the participant can have the best possible experience with it. Now, of course, you can use these blank templates and they're here for everyone, but as if by magic, we also have a few user templates in here that I like to just show people. So you can create as many templates as you like. You might have multiple clients, you might have different departments that have different branding. If you create a template, you can store it here, and you can share this with other Snap users as well if you would like to. So you could share it with your team. And here you can see you can include different things as standard if you would like to. For this one, we can see that there is an NPS statement in question and also a privacy statement. This template has a full stock list question as well as a privacy statement, and this one has standard demographics questions, etc. Now, Once again, as if by magic, I have a little simple branded, Snap branded template here, which I'm going to select. At this point, Snap will let us decide what we're going to call it, and I'm going to call it Webinar Sample. Nice and creative there. And I like to have my name and my title as the same. And this is where I can choose what folder of work I would like it to go into. I'm going to pop it into my webinar, or my webinar folder, I should say. What it's doing now is it's creating the framework for the survey. Not only is it putting it in our desktop, but it's also uploading that framework to our online account as well. And when it's opened up, you can see that I've got a logo in here, I've got a thank you statement, and these have been put in here as a sample to you. I'm just going to very simply call this survey. And in my subtitle here, I'm going to ask people to please complete this survey. Now we get onto the questions. I'm just going to take this sample one away. So if I press enter, I can start a new question. And these two drop downs are the main drop downs that you're going to be using. The first drop down lets you choose what type of question you would like to ask. And the second drop down lets you select any element of that question and make changes to it. So for our first question, I'm going to choose a date question. And I'm going to ask them when did you attend our event? And you can see that it comes with a little date picker there, and that will be native to the controls that the respondent is using. So for example, I have an iPhone, came up an iPhone, my calendar would probably be a roll bar. If I press enter, I can pop in a new question, and I can select what type of question I would like to have. I'm going to choose a multiple choice, and I'm going to say, how did you travel to the event? And I'm going to say, I'm going to press my tab button and I can put in all my codes. So I can use car, train, and bus. And if I wanted to, I can use the second drop down to, for example, select columns, and I can put my responses closer together if that's what I would like to do. At this point, I can save the survey and upload any changes. And this is where I will log into our online account and we'll see if they're there. Fingers crossed. So from our website, you go to login and you log in on this right-hand side, depending on which country you're in. I'm in the UK, so I'm going to select that login. It'll ask you for your email address and password. And as I said previously, the email address is the account identifier, which means that helps with sharing and collaboration, which we'll have a look at later on. So as soon as I log into my online account, I can see I'm faced with a summary, shows me what folders I've got, and if those contain any subfolders and how many surveys. So in my webinar one, I can see that I have got two. I've got my sample, which we're going to go through and look at a little bit later, but we've also got our webinar sample here. So if I click on it and just go to the correct, I can publish that version that I've just created. And if I just scroll down, I can click on my launch preview and it lets me see a preview of the survey. I can fill it out just as if I was a respondent and it won't have any effect on my results. So we can see that I have got my date question here and I've also got my how did I travel here question. And because we have used a template, I can see that all of my ticks are the color that I want. I can see that my buttons are the colors that I want as well. So if we wanted to make any changes, we could do. If I go back, let's say we've got make our survey live, so it's interviewing. I can go back to my desktop and let's say I've got an option and I would like to change it. I can add another option. I can put bike, and instead of saving and uploading the changes, I can publish it out live and in real time. So I would just click OK that I wish to make the changes. And then I click to publish. it will give me a warning saying this survey is currently live. Am I sure I wish to do this? I can click OK, and it will make those changes immediately. Anyone who's filled in the old version, all of their results will still be there, but anyone clicking on the link from this point will be filling in the new survey. And once again, if I click here and we'll go to our launch preview, I can see that those changes have instantly happened. So that's how you create a new survey, the auto synchronization that is nice and quick and keeps everything up to date. So let's have a look at the sample survey that I've set up, and we can have a look at some of these options that are available to you in your online account. So once again, if I go to my webinar folder, I can select survey, and I have these options available to me. I have collect and analyze, I have share, audit log, and response profile. So for example, if I was going to share this survey with a colleague, this is where I would do it. I can click my add user, I can select them as a full researcher, and you would identify them by their email address. And as you can see, that is my colleague at Sadie's. I can manage shares or allow her to manage shares as a full researcher. And if I click save, what you'll be able to see, if I move this little bar, is that this survey has now got two little heads by it, and that means that I'm sharing it with somebody. So let's go back to the summary tab quickly. We would select our collect tab, and this will give us a nice overview of how we're going to get going with our survey, or launching our survey and deploying it. So one of the first things you'll notice is partially completed, running partially completed. This can be a very wise thing to do. You can click on your change options and you can allow it to collect partially completed responses. That means if someone's dropped out but has still filled in some of the survey, you can see what responses they've given you. If you wish for your survey to be launched and closed on a particular date and time, you can select your schedule button here, and you can select the date and the time that it's going to be launched, and the date and the time that it's going to be closed. And you can select your preferred time zone as well. As I scroll a little bit further down, you can see that there is a PDF option. And if I select that, you can see that a downloadable version of your survey is there and ready to go should you require it. I can also see that we have our URL here. So on our URL, there's a little icon at the end, and if you hover over it, it says edit interview URL, and I can click on that, and I can actually make the slug of this URL anything that I want. So I'm going to call it in crowd feedback. And if I tick on it, it then saves those changes. Once a survey is launched live, you can no longer edit that URL. But a QR code, a high resolution QR code, is also created automatically for every survey that you design. And if I click on it, you can see that we have a high resolution QR code that comes up. This can go on posters, on booklets or brochures. It can go out on postal surveys. So it's very flexible. And of course, people are a lot more familiar with QR codes now because of things like COVID check-in tools. As I scroll down a little bit further, we can see that I have got my preview. And if I launch preview, we've experienced this before, but you can go through and have the experience of filling in the survey just as a respondent would. I can select next, I can fill in my survey, and I can check any routing that I may or may not have put in there. So as you can see, you can create surveys which are nice and engaging. You can also make surveys questions mandatory if you would like to as well. So we've had a look at how we would get our link and our URL, for example, and our QR code. And if I wanted to start interviewing, I could do that now. But very quickly, I'm just going to show you how you can load a participants list, for example. If I select a participants list, if I'm going to send this off to a particular list of people, I can upload them. I can select my file. And if it's green, it means there's data in it, which is great. I can go next, and it's just a couple of screens. If I want to send email and invitation reminders, I can do, and I can see data within those. I want to track who's responding and who isn't. And if I want to see data into the questionnaire, I could do that also. If I select next, it will ask me, well, what information do you want in your invites or reminders? And I can select, for example, first name, and I might also select month. On the next screen, I can see what information do I want to add to be seeded into my actual questionnaire. So in my spreadsheet column, what is it called? Well, I'm going to call it month. And in my Snap variable, that is actually going to be, so the Snap question number, that is going to be, when did you attend our event? And if I wanted to add another field, I can keep adding them. So region might correspond with which venue did you attend? And I can keep on adding them as long as I've got fields with which to do it. And if I click next, it gives you a nice summary of those fields that we've selected. So we want our month and name in our available for our invitations, and when in the actual survey, we're preceding region with question into question 9 and month into question 11. If I then upload that, you can see that these are all my email addresses, and you can see that we are actually, I've loaded just 3 because I couldn't make 40,000 email addresses, but you can upload a list of up to 40,000 per survey. If you want to add an additional participant, you can do that. You can do it individually if you'd like here. If you wanted to upload more participants, for example, you have a new listing, you can add additional participants if you wish to. You can also go in, you can delete your whole participants list, or you can go into an individual and you can delete them individually if you would like to. So if we make a quick invitation and I go to add invitation, I can start using some of my tags here. So I'm going to use my survey title here, and I'm going to say, dear, and this is where we hope we've selected the right fields. Here we go, dear first name, and say, thank you for attending our event. And then I think I chose month. There we go. I'm going to say, please click here to give us your feedback. Many thanks. Crowd, which is our made up company events team. And we're also going to put an opt out because that's required. Opt out here. Oh. So if once you've got the basic structure of your survey in, of your invitation in, you can make any changes you want. You can change fonts and sizes and add colors. You can add an image if you want to have a logo, for example, at the top of it. But for now, I'm just going to add some hyperlinks because that makes it easier for the respondent. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this text and cut it. And I will click on my insert tag. And I'm going to insert my survey link, highlight that, and I'm going to select my hyperlink, and I'm going to paste that text in of how I want it to appear. So that will now be a hyperlink for them to be able to complete their survey. And the same goes for my opt-out. I would just take the text out, cut the text, insert the opt-out tag, highlight it, go to my hyperlink, paste it in, and click insert. And if I'm happy with that, I would then save. I know that's a tremendously simple version, but I can then test it. I click on my test button and it will go to an email address of my choice. It goes to your account one as standard. Click OK, and hopefully within seconds, there should be an email that's come in, and it has. I'm going to just bring it across, here we go, to this screen. And you can see it says from Louise Parsons, and here we have our hyperlink for our survey. And we also have our opt-out, which will take us to our nice clean opt-out screen. If I go back to the survey, I could see there that it came from myself. And actually, if I go into my overview for my participants, I can change some of those invitation settings. So instead of being from me, Louise Parsons, I might want it to be from in-crowd events team. And I may want replies not to come to me. I might want them, I might not want replies, so I might put no replies. I might want to put it as a more general email address that we have, that the team has got access to as well. And you can also, chosen by default, it only allows replies from a person, but if you want to include auto replies such as out of offices as well, you can do. And I can save those changes. And if I go back to my invitation and test again, once again, as if by magic, should receive a new email, and that will actually be from the in-crowd feedback team. It's just come in now. If I open it, we can see that it's now from in-crowd events team, which is great. And if I was to reply, it would go to the email address that I've designated. So we've had a quick look at participants. We've loaded our list. We can go back to our, oh, sorry, I meant to go back to our collect tab, apologies. Here we go, go back to our collect tab. And if we're happy with that, we can start interviewing. We can decide to send the invitations out as we would like. And I can click start. This URL is now live and unchangeable, and that's your live URL for your survey. Because we've required a login, that's what will be there. So there are a couple of other options on this left-hand side. Responses is one of them. And just a quick look at responses. If you wish to export all of your data, you can choose to do so as an Excel, CSV or TSV file. You can expand multiple responses if you want to as well. I can export all of that data, and if I click on it, it will export it as an Excel spreadsheet, which is what I've chosen. It will have all of my data in it, including the origin, so I can see who's filled it in on a tablet, a smartphone, or a PC, for example. We can also, if you have any partially completed responses, they'll be available here for you to scroll through. And we have a find and erase. So if somebody says, no, you shouldn't have my details, don't want to be sent anything anymore, you can find them and erase them straight away. But we're happy with our survey, that's live and it's gathered data. We could then go into our Analyze tab. And in our Analyze tab, we have our three ready-made reports. There's a questionnaire report, which is an overview, what used to be called a marked up questionnaire analysis, I think, with all of our responses in there. We have also got our summary report, which I have to say is my favourite, which is a nice piece of summary analysis on each question that's been asked. And if you've asked an open-ended question, it will list the open-ended commentary for you. We also have a summary tables report, which is for questions that it's appropriate for a table summary for the results that have come in. But never underestimate these ready-made reports. You can access them through your desktop. So if I go back to my overview mode, and I'll go into the questionnaire that we're working on at the moment, which is the event feedback survey. And I have a little icon up here that when I hover over it, it says reports, and it will show us those same three reports. I might take my summary report, for example, which is my favourite, and I can go into the information window and I can make changes if I want to. So a very simple, easy to see change. I might insert a logo. So I can choose an image and insert that as my logo. And hopefully I should have one in here. There it is. And you can size it accordingly. There we go. And click OK. If I save that with my nice blue tick and upload those changes, I can go straight back to my online account, just refresh it. When I click on my summary report now, it'll generate momentarily. I've now got my nice logo, so it's branded. But you can do more than just that if you'd like to. We go back to our desktop. We can clone our summary report. We can actually split this report by, let's say, venue. I think our venue question is question 9. So I'm going to call this report venue. And question 9 is our venue question. I hope we'll soon find out. And I can put in a really easy little filter expression. I can just do Q9 equals Q9 at context. If I save that and upload it, we can see we've got a new one in our list here. And in our online account, refresh again, we have our new report here. And this venue report is now split, giving you summary analysis for each venue. So here we can see we've got London, and it gives me all of the responses for London, and we have Manchester and Cardiff and so on. So that's now an 18-page report with each venue getting its a summary report. And then finally, I just wanted to share with you how you might share those reports, for example, not just with your colleagues, but also with clients. Your clients you can set them up a analyst account, which doesn't cost anything. You can add that analyst account as a user, once again, with the email address. You can select them as an analyst, which means they'll just be able to see the reporting that you put in place there, or an analyst plus data download, which means they'll just be able to see the reporting, plus they'll be able to download the raw data if you're letting them. You can also, if you only wish for them to see certain questions, you can do a filter here, or contextually, if you only wish for them to see the results for, as we did before, a certain venue, you can do that there. And that means that each manager of the venue can open up a report and just see their reports. You can also include benchmarking if you'd like, so they can see how they're doing against the group as a whole, but not any other venue's individual responses. So that's a quick whip around Snap surveys, XMP. But if we go to our website, I was finally just going to show you how to connect with our Support Hub online. On our main web page, I can select support, I can select XMP, and here I have lots of resources with which to get started. Everything I can do with my Snap desktop license, all of the advanced logic surveys that I can create, all of the analysis I can do, all of the reporting. Or if I'm looking for my online, this will show me everything to do with my online account, and I can go through and find the information on what I need to do. Before I finally sign off, I feel like I keep saying I'm ending this, I really am. Do be aware, do have a look around our website. We do have a marketplace as well. So along with creating your own surveys, if you wish to, we have surveys already created for several topic areas. And not only do they come with the survey, but they also come with the reporting in the background, which I always think is fantastic. So please feel free to have a look at our website and contact us if you have any questions or if there's anything more you need. It's been great speaking to you all, and hopefully we'll do this all again. All right, take care. Goodbye.